Thank you. And my name is Marek Gnusowski. I come from Poznań, Poland, and I'd like to show you some Polish sweets for the beginning. I'm quite sure you got something similar in your countries. We call this ptasie mleczko, so it's bird's milk. But anyway, you got a chance to try the Polish version. So for the good beginning, something sweet. I know it's before, shortly after the lunch break, but still, let's try something else. So follow. Yeah, go ahead. There should be two floors. So if the one is gone, then we're gonna have another one. And my presentation, so maybe the subject you can see here is a little bit deceived, but it will be mainly about marketing of non-profit organizations. So go ahead, yeah, and we're gonna pass to the. But you still got another round, yeah. Right. So as I can see, I've been introduced to you on the leaflets you got before the lecture, so there's no point to say much unless you want to know a little bit more about me. But what we're gonna discuss today is 80% of the time is about marketing of NGOs. So we will try to answer the questions such as what, why, when, how, and some brand strategies for non-profit organizations. And we will finish with this marketing and democracy connection, indeed. And yeah, so that's me. But as I said, you got it on the leaflets. And so let's start with the reading suggestions. I would say there are 3 very good books about this subject, which are. The first one is about connection of democracy and marketing, and the other 2 is about marketing in NGOs. Can you notice a problem with those here? Is there something, maybe not wrong, but something which is not very good about them here? Yeah, maybe not. Let's not call them outdated, because there's nothing new in the subject. Yeah? So that's a little bit telling, but they are at least like 12 or 10 years old. And what happened during those 10 years?
Economic crisis.
Yeah, apart from in marketing, we had this technology change. Yeah? So it's been completely different world. If we compare it to what was there 12 years ago. But I would like to prove today that even if the technology is completely different, some fundamentals are still the same. Yeah? So that's my point here. And but anyway, if you catch any of those, I got them, so I can share with you. I think it's quite good source of information still, even if it's outdated. Yeah. So maybe let's start with the question: what do you think is the marketing of NGO? Promotion. Okay. Raising awareness for target groups. Okay. What else? And who is responsible for marketing in an organization? Marketing department, PR department, communication department. So if we have, how big is your NGO, for example? How many people?
50.
Okay, how big is this center?
13 employees.
Okay, and how many people are in the marketing department?
0.
Okay. That's actually a good answer, because what I will be trying to prove today, it's not only marketing department, but everyone is responsible for marketing in the organization, or everyone should be responsible for marketing in the organization, because it's vital for the customer experience or stakeholders experience. You know? So let me share my experience with this organization here, which is brilliant. It's spectacular. You know? So we started with the very good email communication. Everything was perfectly organized. And for example, what happened yesterday, I had a very nice communicative driver. Yeah? And that's all my customer experience coming here. So before I even am here right now, I had a lot of experience with people from here, and they were very good. Yeah? And now imagine if they are not good. So for example, the communication, email communication is bad, or the driver is not nice. Then it can spoil my experience. Yeah? So that's very important that every member of your organization is involved in marketing. Yeah? From CEO to the very, if you got the hierarchy, everyone should be involved. Yeah? That's very important. That's very important. So let's shortly define some objectives here. So we use marketing to propagate the values, ideas, beliefs. Niklas told about values and missions, visions, everything like that. And also to ensure, you know the stakeholders concept? Yeah, okay. So I'm going to use it a lot here. But the idea is they should feel involved in what happens with the organization and committed to it, of course. And the last one is, I think we had quite a bit about this in Niklas' lecture, so how to be different than others. Yeah? So that's also, that's one of the main points of marketing, is to show to be different than others. I'm going to show you some tools, practical tools to consider about making difference from other organizations. And I just added it sitting there because I think we should have some sort of definition just to make sure we understand some terms in the same way. So as I understand, non-profit marketing is a set of activities which are carried mainly by institutions, non-profit institutions in that subject, and the aim is to improve the satisfaction of stakeholders and build a long-term relationship. I think that's the most important one, because you got different versions of marketing, and the one I would like to suggest to you is this relationship marketing. So it means you have to have long-term relationship with all people involved in cooperation with you. Okay? Can we move? Okay. So now I got some questions, or actually some questions. What are the main outcomes of marketing of non-profit organization? What do we gain? How do you think? Why do we have marketing? Improve reputation. Trust. Involve more people. The first, the most obvious one, so you said about promotion, I would say it goes to fundraising. Yeah? So we need to promote ourselves to get some money. Yeah? I think that's quite simple. So it's essential to fundraising. The other one is to attract volunteers. Yeah? We need people for our case. So if we show, and also one more thing which is very important here, marketing is not only external, it's also internal. So if we treat our employees good, they will share the news with their friends, yeah? So then we can attract more people. So not only external, it's also internal, two versions of marketing. But anyway, to attract volunteers, what else? What else? Persuade decision makers. Yeah? If we had good promotion, if we know how to sell our vision, then we can influence decision makers. Yeah? So that's also quite important here, and it's connected with changing public policies and we can encourage behavior changes. So, for example, if our organization is about, I don't know, non-drinking habits, yeah, then we can still manage to influence some behavior changes in the community. And of course, I will repeat it many times today. It's all about building long-term relationship with our stakeholders, so clients, supporters, and many others. Okay, so that's my idea for today's lectures. It's about asking questions. I think the citation is quite relevant here. So it's always better to ask questions than know all the answers. So hopefully you agree with me. And let's start with the questions then.
Can I hands up?
Yeah, you got a question. Okay, that's good. No. It's more like the idea of the whole lecture. You don't have to ask questions now. I'm going to ask questions. Okay. I'm going to ask questions. Yeah. So as I said at the beginning of my lecture, we got this technological revolution, yeah? And anyway, the tools have changed. The tools, I mean social media and all other stuff, but the main rules, they have not changed. Yeah? It's always about the basics, and the basics are to answer the three most important questions here. So the first question is, who are you as an organization, as an NGO, and the meaning of this question is, what's your story? I will be using the word story a lot today. So what's your story, and why people, stakeholders, why should they care? Yeah? That's the first question. Second question, who needs to know? So who is your target audience? Yeah? Who are you trying to reach? Who should be interested in what you are doing? Yeah? That's the second question. Of course, it takes time. You may change it, but still you need to know who is your audience. Yeah? And the last question here, it's how will they find out? So it's all about the methods. Yeah? When you know who you are and who would you like to reach, yeah? Then you will have to know how, pretty much. Yeah? So what's the best way to deliver your story? And of course, it's marketing, so you need to pick up the right channels to do it, or the right methods, right way to achieve your target audience, and to deliver this message. I think message or story, these are the two which describes the best what we are saying here. Okay, and basics. So let's discuss those in details. So the first question is, who are we? So who are you? Yeah? I don't know it, but I'd be more than happy to know something more about the organization. Probably not during this lecture because there's no time for that. But we still have a lunch together. We have an afternoon together, and we may have some part of tomorrow together. Yes, so that's why I'd be more than happy to talk to you during this time and sharing some ideas. Maybe you will find some of them beneficial. But the main question, so who are you and what do you want to do? Probably you already know answers to those questions because you are successful NGO people, but still maybe there are some parts of this you can reconsider. Yeah? So think about the NGO you work or you own, and imagine describing this NGO to your friend, but actually in marketing we got even better proposition, which is called the grandma test. Do you know what the grandma test is? Yeah, do you know what the grandma test is?
Understandable from the name.
Okay, so what do you think it is?
It should be explained in a way your grandma understands.
Exactly. exactly. And that's actually a vital marketing concept. Yeah, it works in a marketing. So imagine Sunday afternoon. You got a soup, your grandma is cooking, waiting for you, the chicken, yeah? And then you are coming to visit your grandma, and she says, okay, so I'm a little bit concerned about what you are doing. Could you please shortly describe it? Yeah? And then you got like 30 seconds, maybe less than 1 minute, because people will not pay attention, and you have to do it in a very simple way, yeah? So your grandma understands, yeah? It's all complicated, yeah? What all of you do is very complicated, yeah? But what you need to do, and I think that's something you can try to do in the evening, tonight, for example, yeah? You can think like to sell your idea in a very basic way, yeah? So 30 seconds to 1 minute grandma test, yeah? You call your boyfriend, you call your wife, you call your husband, and you tell them, okay, I know how to put the idea of my NGO in a very simple way, okay? Okay? So grandma test. Or you can even call your grandma. Why not? We had a grandma day like today, at least in Poland 2 days ago. Yeah. So there's still a chance to call your grandma and tell her. Yeah. Probably they know. Yeah. But still. Okay. So the next part of this who we are is unique selling proposition, USP. That's also a very marketing thing. Probably you heard about USP? No? Okay. So I think it's good to know the USP concept. And it's, like I said, unique selling proposition. And it's something which is, it shows how you can be different than others. And I think it's good to formulate it. It can be a part of mission. It's one thing that makes you special, makes you unique, makes you different than others. Yeah? Because there are no, it's very rare that there are some companies that are one and only. Yeah? Most of the companies, they are, on the market we got something similar. Yeah? But you need to show why your organization is unique. Yeah? So you may be the first one in Ukraine, or first one in Kijowska Oblast, or whatever it is, or you may be the best one, or the oldest one, or many other factors. Yeah? But it's still one unique selling proposition, which shows how do you attract your audience. Yeah? So that's the concept, and. I'm not sure if it's is the questions to the question is to you and Irina and Niklas. Do you want me to make a workshop or more a lecture? Because we can still work on this stuff, or we can come back to it if you get some more time after my speech is over. Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to participate, like active participation, that would be very appreciated. We can spend like some time to prepare the USP now. Or we can do it after the lecture. Yeah. So yeah, but there's a possibility of me to consult those with you. So we can definitely try it if you would like to. So you want to do it now, or you want me to finish the lecture and then we can come back to some stuff? Yeah. Finish the lecture. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So our second question: what is your image? I mean. Image, maybe it's quite similar or related to brand, and how do you want people to think of you? And this question is a bit tricky. So the question is not how do people think of you, but how do you want people to think of you? These are completely different things. Yeah? Sometimes they are, so if they are the same, you are very successful. Yeah? But they are not always the same. And you need to know how do you want people to think of you, and then we can prepare a list of words that can describe our organization. It may be useful to formulate the USP as well. So example, are you friendly? Are you caring? Are you helpful? It's more about like for a person, but you can try to find similar adjectives for organization as well. Yeah. So what would be the main adjectives that you would like people to think about your organization? Yeah? Probably you can think about many of them. right now. Yeah, but we still can do it as well a little bit later. And the third issue here, like the third basic question, is what wrong ideas people or media have about our organization. So it's not always positive. Sometimes it's not fair, but sometimes people have some they are misunderstandings and some wrong ideas. Yeah? So that's why we need to make sure people don't have a lot of those. And why do you think people, too many things, think these are bad ideas or bad image, yeah? Wrong ideas. Yeah? So not only working on a positive side, but also working on making the negative side less relevant, yeah? if you know what I mean. Yeah? So that's also quite important here. And if I consult some NGO peoples, what do you think is the main concern in regards to marketing? Yeah, that's the main one. So nobody knows who we are or what we do. Yeah? So we got this website, we got I don't know, AdWords, Google AdWords, and we try very hard to post on Facebook. Yeah. So and still we got like 500 supporters or whatever it is. Yeah? So that's the main concern usually. And what can we do about it? We got 5 solutions. Yeah, effective tools. We got 5 effective tools. Okay, so let's start with them. They are not very. They are quite obvious, but still, I think it's useful to know them. Okay. Effective tool number one, writing. So what do you probably have is a website. Do you have a website? All of you? No, not all of you? You should have one. Do you have a blog? Do you have a social media profiles? Okay. No? No? Of course, yes. Okay. Now, my question is it enough? Okay, this kind of question you should answer no, by definition, but that's the correct answer. And why is it not enough? You got website, you got blog, you got social media, what's wrong? What's wrong with me? It's not only audience, okay. So, what else?
Some like papers. They use like to read from.
So, of course, you are right. But my idea is it's not about what else, but what's wrong with this here. How do you use them?
Nobody will read your writing if you just write randomly, not targeting your audience specifically.
Mm-hmm. But most of the time we use those reactive, so not actively. Yeah? It's like we post on our website, we post on our social media profiles, yeah? On our blog, yeah? But it's only the audience who is following them. Yeah? So my main point is we need to write proactively. So we need to be active in our writing. Yeah? What I mean by that, it's active, not passive. Yeah? So it's beyond our organization. If it's our website or if it's our social media, it's about our organization and the community, so our fans, supporters, whatever it is, whoever it is. Yeah? But we can also write actively. Not only write, it's actually about everything we do. We can do it actively. So where we can write to write actively?
I was thinking about having, for example, some Wikimedia kind of articles.
Mm-hmm. Okay, newspapers, for example.
Yes, exactly. And then you write a kind of testimony, for example, of what your organization is doing, or you are sharing your personal experience, and people then are following
Very good.
you
Very
personally, but also the organization.
Have you ever done it?
Well, I just thought about it.
Okay, so that's it, yeah? We know it, but we don't do it. After this presentation, you will know it and you will do it, okay? Okay? Newsletters, newspapers. Newspapers, it's usually the best way to do it. It's either local newspapers or national newspapers, but it's more difficult to get there, or your particular niche newspapers, yeah? And that's also a very good one. Yeah? So one of those three, maybe the niche ones are the best ones, but still, yeah, you need to actively write to some of those, trying to reach them. And how about writing a book? Even a short one. It doesn't have to be like a scientific book. Yeah? What's the benefits of writing a book? As an expert, it shows, okay, this lady, she authored a book, yeah? We can invite her, she knows the stuff, yeah? Make sense? Okay. And it's not that difficult, it's, all of you probably wrote a master degrees or something, yeah? So it was some time ago, yeah? Pardon? Yeah, you can combine your papers and publish a book, of course. You can do it, of course, like the series of essays about the subject. Why not? You have your own blog, but you can also publish on someone else's blog. Yeah? For example, you got a nice community here. You can publish on your blog, and you can publish on your blog if you got something together. Yeah? And then people think, okay, you got like 1,000 supporters, you got 500, and people know you, and that's growing the idea. Okay. So you can build a network here, a very nice network, and you can support each other in here. Yeah? Okay. Other online or hard copy publications looking for content, and there are thousands of those. Probably I would suggest you to write something in English and in your local language, so both. You should have both because you still would like to reach different people from different settings. But I think this dual approach to this subject is very recommended because you still work in your local language, but if, for example, someone from, let's say, Germany is looking for an NGO in your country, then they would prefer to the English version, simply as that. Yeah? And those kind of subjects, like how does something work in, let's say, Moldova, I think it may be interesting for many people, yeah? Because usually Western people, I got the same problem as a researcher from Poland. They always like, okay, we don't know how does it work in your cultural setting. Yeah? So that's interesting for many people, believe me or not. Yeah? So yeah, why not? Okay, effective active writing, number one. Any questions here? No. So why is it effective? Why is it effective? Because we can tell our story in our own words. So we got the chance, we can design our story, okay? We can design our story. What else? We can both communicate and connect people to our mission, to our goals, to our vision, whatever it is, yeah, values, let's call it. So it's direct because we shape it. And it's a great chance of educating people. And I bet at least 80% of your NGOs, they have this education part in your idea of your organization. So you got a chance to educate. And it adds credibility, it adds publicity to your organization. Yeah? So we got quite many benefits of this here. And the last one, if you publish a book or you publish a post on someone else's blog, then you put it on your Facebook and you show it. Yeah? And again, what we discussed here, yeah? You are well-recognized expert. Yeah? So that's how it works. Yeah? But to be an expert, you have to show something. Okay? Effective tool number two, speaking. By speaking, I mean public speaking. So it means being invited to some events. Okay? And how to get those speaking engagements. So for example, conferences, like big events, is it easy to get them? No. And why is it not easy? Because most of people will assume that you want to get there just to promote your NGO and to get money. Okay? And it's not the way to sell it. It's not the way to sell it. Don't tell it to anyone that you want to. I will tell 15 minutes about our organization and then, no. You are speaking as an expert, okay? Of course, you will show your NGO on the last slide, for example, yeah? And that's enough, believe me, that's enough. And you are an expert who will speak about issues that are vital for this particular community, okay? And usually people assume NGOs are non-profit, so not for money, and it's interesting for them other perspective. Yeah? So that's my personal experience actually. And also about speaking, how we can easily extend the benefits of speaking beyond the one event. So for example, you got a nice conference, you are a keynote guest speaker. What else can we do with that? Is it all? Or can we somehow use it? Okay, in your book, yeah? But also, and that's a good one. Make a videotape of your speech, and then stream it, live stream, website, social media. Again, you are an expert. Your organization is an organization of expert people, okay? And it costs nothing, yeah? So you can further advertise yourself in that sense. Effective tool, any questions about speaking? No. Effective tool number 3. One-on-one conversations. So we got this event here, and we got you got an expert from whatever, yeah, and you got this tea or coffee break, you got this lunch break, yeah, you got this one-on-one communication opportunity, a chance to talk to these people, and then somehow they know someone who may be very important for you, or they may recommend someone, so it's building and extending your network here, okay? Very important, very important. And, okay, so it can open many doors, yeah? So for example, you want to reach people, you are from Ukraine and you want to enter Moldova, and okay, I know a guy from Moldova here, okay? You would be my first email to contact Moldova, yeah? Because you may know someone who may help me. Yeah? And that's building the network. That's what I told you some time ago. You are here to promote each other. Okay? You are a member of one program, and it's absolutely a huge opportunity for you to promote each other. And that's something I would definitely do. Okay? So if you got your website, you can post some links to other organizations from people from here. Yeah? Because there's nothing you can lose, and you can win a lot by this. Okay? So why not try? Niklas.
I just want to add about this website and posting links. It even increases your chance to be found on the net, on your website. Nobody knows exactly about this Google algorithm, but if you post links to other organizations, you have a much higher chance to be found. So it doesn't only help this other organization, but it also helps you to be found in the internet by Google.
So I'm not sure if you have it in your plans, but designing a website containing a website of those people, it might be a good idea actually. Yeah? Good idea to promote each other. Yeah. Okay, you got a selfie together now. Yeah, and that's the way to do it. Yeah, you can show you got like women empowerment. What's your organization, and you got it together. Yeah, that's and you can sell it not only as Darina and Alisa. Yeah, that's your names. Yeah. Okay, you can sell it as like two NGOs, yeah. Okay, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. And effective tool number 4, social media. By the way, no, that's the mass media now. Okay, the mass media. What's the mass media? Exactly. Yeah. So newspapers, magazines, TV, radio. That's the mass media, and they are used to communicate information to large groups of people. Is it useful? It's useful, but you have to be very well prepared to try it. Okay, so that's definitely not something I would recommend to start with. You should gain some marketing experience with the 3 tools we discussed before you enter the mass media. Because if you don't use it well enough or wise enough, you can do damage to your company, to your idea. Okay, so it's useful, but it works both ways. Yeah. It's either successful for millions or it's a failure for millions. Yeah? So it has to be very well designed and very well thought before you enter. Okay? Why are mass media important to NGOs? So let's focus on benefits here. I got 2 responses. Let's start here. Yeah?
People can know something about this NGO from the media.
Okay, so simple as that, they will find out. What's your answer?
Like outreach.
Okay, it's wider, yeah. Okay, so we broadcast for lots of people, millions, yeah, like we said, and but also it creates an environment of political pressure. Yeah? So usually your case is somehow connected to politics, democracy, and if you enter, like for example, TV, most of the time it's somehow connected to the political case, yeah, and that's serious, yeah, that's quite serious. So for example, you go to the TV studio, and there's one politician, and you are an expert as an NGO person, yeah. So you are in this discussion, yeah, you are in this discussion. The second one, you convey general information here, okay. The third one is, again, it's an education tool for millions of people. Yeah, so you can, for example, promote your case, but quite frankly, how many NGOs do you know who can afford advertising in a TV, for example? Maybe 5?
Only one fund created by oligarchs.
Okay, in your, but I'm even thinking like in English it's maybe like Amnesty International, Red Cross, probably WWF, yeah, that maybe 5 or something. Yeah? So what I'm trying to say here, it's not necessarily the best solution. It's not that much made for NGOs. The other ones are much more effective. Yeah? Okay, and of course you can counter this popular misconceptions. So what I mentioned before, some people think wrong about the organization, so you can try to change their mind, and also you can provide an alternative viewpoint. Yeah? So in example, you got this political discussion between two parts, and you are an expert and show a completely other third way, a completely other viewpoint from the NGO perspective. Okay, any questions here? Questions here? Okay, so now, how exactly should we do it? And what I mean by how exactly is to build a network of journalists. Okay, so you should know some journalists. Do you know any journalist you can call right now and say, okay, I got this interesting stuff here? Okay, so that's point number 1 covered, and it's very important. Of course, there are 2 situations here. If you are famous or not, I assumed that we are not famous, because if you are a famous politician, journalists call you, and if you are not, usually you should call the journalist. Yeah? That's how it works. But still, they need to, if they got this issue, they need to think about you as a first person to call. Okay, so that's important here. And so that means you are a very valuable source of information for those people. So that's it. And of course, you should also keep the data about journalists you met someday. So for example, you published a book, you speak at the conference as an expert, and you got 5 journalists talking to you during the lunch. Yeah? So we got 4 tools covered together. Okay? And then you take the cards. I don't know if you use cards anymore. I think it's more like Facebook or whatever it is. Yeah? But you still keep those people, and if you got something interesting, you just contact them. Okay? The thing here is you should not overachieve here. So what I mean here is don't contact them with anything you had. Yeah? Only with the urgent, very important things. Yeah? So in that sense, we need to also respect the time and deadlines. Please. Yeah.
Contact them only if you have any urgent matters. I think it's important to really foster friendly relations with journalists, so you can actually congratulate them on any of their accomplishments or on their birthdays. And sometimes they have this professional holidays like Journalist Day, so you should use this opportunity to reach out to them on a less formal occasion.
I totally agree. Maybe the word urgent was not used properly here. What I meant here is the very important thing. Okay. Of course, you should stay in touch with them for the whole time being, but it's contacting them like business contact them only if you got something. So it's not like we open a room in our NGO or we painted our NGO. It's more like if you got something really interesting. Yeah. Okay. But thanks for the comment, and feel free to comment anytime you need. And okay, press conferences. Have you ever organized a press conference? Would you like to organize a press conference? Why not? Yeah. What's a press conference? You invite the press. So it's formal, it's arranged, so you plan it before. So next Tuesday, 1 p.m., we got the press conference about empowering women in Armenia. Okay? You got a statement. The statement is, I don't know, our organization works for 5 years now and we observe this and that. Yeah? And you are answering the questions. What's the vital thing here? So why is it successful? What's the necessary condition? Members of the media have to report. Yeah? If we only got 1 or 2 journalists, it's not that good. Yeah? So not even people like the audience, but the journalists, because you can always arrange it. You got a table, and if you put the camera from that side, you can still make it without audience. Yeah, but you have to have people to ask questions. Yeah? And then you have to have people who write about it. Yeah? That's even more important. I think that may be a quite useful tool for you as well in the future. Number 5, social media. Social media. Of course, it's our everyday life nowadays. All of us use it. Probably, how many platforms do you use every day? Facebook, YouTube? No? LinkedIn? YouTube? What else? Instagram, Kontaktie, yeah? 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 That's Russian, yeah? Okay, sorry for, please forgive me. Yeah, probably, that may be Twitter, maybe that's the other one, yeah? So these 5, maybe the top, Instagram, Twitter, yeah, I think we got them. And why we should use them? Because everyone else does. Yeah, that's what's going on here nowadays, and we can raise public awareness, like you said at the beginning, so people know about our cause, our organization. We can raise some funds. We can reach new supporters, we can build a passionate community, and so on and so forth and so on. Yeah? Okay, I think most of you will agree with this list here. So maybe you got any other reasons why do you use social media? What I mean by use is for your NGO, not for yourself. I think these 4 are the most important ones here. So actually, because at the beginning I told you marketing is not only for external, but it's also internal, but social media are mainly about the external communication. Yeah? So we still need to strengthen our internal communication in that sense, okay? Okay. How would you define a brand? Brand. It's something unique, okay. Popular. So more different or more popular? Different. Oh, everyone knows you. Okay, because you are different, you are popular. Okay, makes sense. So anyway, a brand is a personal feeling about a product, service, or an organization. Yeah? So in fact, it is what people think about you as an organization. Actually, it's exactly the same with human relations. Yeah. So it's your personal brand. Yeah. How do people perceive you or your organization? And so your brand is what people really think about your organization. Yeah. And of course, it impacts your image or public image. And in that sense, it also impacts your fundraising chances. Yeah? Because if you don't have a good image, then it's much more difficult to collect some money for your cause. Yeah? So that's why a brand is very important in that sense. And that's what we mentioned, most widely recognized non-profit brands. You said there's only one here, which is like most country recognized, yeah?
I mean that the only one is advertised on TV.
Oh, okay, sorry. But it's also recognized because of that? Okay.
Yeah.
How many NGOs in your country can you recognize? More than 10, more than 50? I mean, you are in the industry, but still.
Who is supposed to recognize?
You.
Ukrainian.
Yeah.
You want the calculation or the figure? Like,
Yeah, just the estimation.
of Ukrainian engines.
Yeah. How many of them do you know?
Less than 10.
Less than 10.
Ukrainian.
Yes, less than 10. Okay. And you know them mainly because you work with them, cooperate? Or? Okay. So if you ask Mr. Andriy from the street how many NGOs would he know?
It would be very good if he knows what is NGO.
So that proves how difficult material we got here, okay? That's the best proof, yeah? But okay, let's assume these are the most recognized in the world, yeah? Because all of you recognize those three? Okay. The Red Cross is probably number one here. Yeah, but these are top-notch NGOs in the world. Okay, so some brand strategies for non-profits. You should be different, unique. Niklas told about it. I got it on my presentation on several slides, but I think it's never enough to repeat those. Yeah? You should think how you should be different. And the question is, those funds are quite limited. Yeah? So for example, a donor, an organization, they only have, let's assume, 1 million euro. And they can give it to, let's say, one organization. So in that sense, it's either you or someone else, okay? That's this kind of competitive, like nature approach, yeah? So the tiger has to kill to live and all of this, yeah? Okay, so you have to assure the tiger you should not be killed, yeah? Not in that, yeah. Let's stick to this. So you can emphasize your differences. And are you the only non-profit or are you the only organization working in this particular region? Or are you the only organization working in this particular niche or this particular subject matter? Yeah? And that's very important. Usually it's quite difficult to be the only one. So if you cannot be the only one, you have to be the best one, okay? The best one, it's subjective, it's not objective. You have to be the best one for this particular program, project, or whatever it is. Yeah? But you need to prove you are the most, the best one, that's the proper word. Your approach, your method, the way you act. So there may be like 5 NGOs in your region or in your country which has similar idea, but in example, you solve your problem in different way than the others. Yeah? So women problems. Yeah? For example, you are the only NGO in Armenia out of 5 that goes to the women houses and talk to them. I'm just wondering what may be a different thing, but there's something in the method, the way you act, which is different than others. Yeah? Okay? I'm quite sure you will be able to find something like this. But yeah.
I think that when you are the only NGO, it's much easier for you to work. But if If there are a lot of NGOs, you should prove that you are working in a different way for having this result. For example, in Armenia, we have more than maybe 80 NGOs working in the women's sector, but only 3 or 4 of them are well known because they are solving the women issues in a best way.
Okay, okay. That's economy. Yeah? You got either a competition or got a monopoly. If you are one and only company, that's always good for you. Yeah? But it almost never happens. Yeah? And I can assure you, if you got a good idea, some others will come and try to do the same thing. Yeah? So then you have competitors. If you have competitors, you have to compete with them. Yeah? That's simple as that. And but what I would also like to say is, for example, there are 3 or 4 good ones in Armenia, but maybe the focus of 3 of them is to attract people from Armenia, and your is the only international one. Yeah? So this may be a difference here. The difference, there's no universal solution here. You need to find one for your company. And your goal. So what do you want to achieve? And do you have a specific goal which is different than others? Yeah? So for example, you may have the same idea, you may have the same methods, but you want to achieve something else. Yeah? Niklas told about goals. Yeah? So this 2030, 80 places like this, all managed by you. That was the plan. I was focusing to your speech. Yeah, not 80? 5. Okay, sorry. There was some 80, 20, 40, 80. Okay. Yeah. So you still know they cannot be over ambitious. They have to be real, but they have to be motivating at the same time. So you need to find this proper balance between over motivation and the motivation. Yeah. And of course, let's come back to our conversation for the whole time today, to be an expert. And so you can be a thought leader, and you can position your organization as a forward-thinking and innovative. I think it's always good way to choose is to position yourself as an innovative organization, because simple as that, it sells. Yeah? People like to know they are working with innovative people. Whatever this word means, because it's overused in our world nowadays. Everyone wants to be innovative, but still, in some sense, innovating means different here. Any questions? Questions? No questions? And so let's move to some examples here. So don't tell me an issue, tell me a story. I've been using message or story for the whole lecture. I think the story is a good one. So let me show you, or let me provide you some examples of interesting campaigns of NGOs, and maybe you may find them helpful as a source of inspiration for you. So, 5 qualities of a good non-profit marketing story. Your story should be short. I would suggest try to use not more than 500 words if you got it on your website. And if you got a video, it shouldn't be longer than 2 minutes, because nowadays people want focus. We don't read a lot. There's a generation of short communication. Yeah? It's only, Twitter is no more than something, yeah? Like 100 signs or something. Yeah? So 500 words, it's still quite a lot. Make it as short as possible. Also the video. It has to be straightforward. So, don't try to, okay, we do this and that. It has to be straightforward, straight to the point. Yeah? We are expert on this and that. We are specialized. We are the expert, the best. It has to be personal. So usually it's good to use specific people than general. Yeah? Instead of general views, it's good to show some specific people. Okay, so we help this boy, 4 years old, and show the example of a real person, because it makes people more involved. Authentic, yeah? So imperfect humans. All people are imperfect, no one is perfect, and if you show this, okay, we are not perfect as an organization, but we still aim to achieve this and that will work. And it has to end with a message, something people will remember. Okay, that's I would say that's 5 qualities which are quite important to formulate your marketing story. If we have some time, we may try to work on such a communicate. Okay. So I think I got 4 or 5 examples here. Do you know the Movember? Mustache November? No? Yeah? So that's something similar. It's December. So the Movember is in November. Males are not shaving the mustache, yeah? And it supports the cancer so that's the idea of Movember. But the idea of December, it's people are they wear dress or ties every day during December to raise awareness and fundraise for anti-trafficking efforts, so human traffic. Yeah? Why is it a good campaign? How do you think?
It can go viral, so people can share about this in their social media.
Okay, so it's quite easy to spread the news, yeah? It's quite easy to spread the news. What else? Why is it good?
It's very easy to join.
It's easy to join. Everyone can wear a dress or a tie, yeah? Okay. So I think the best thing here is it's quite easy to involve people. Yeah? It's quite easy to involve people, and it shows a clear statement from people. So if you can see someone in December wearing a dress or a tie, you can think, okay, this person is supporting anti-trafficking policy. So by the way, you also got the website here. You can enter it because the websites I've been trying to show you, they are also quite well-designed websites of the NGO. So maybe you may find some source of inspiration. So you got this why address, and then you got the whole idea described in 500 words or less. You got this became an advocate, so you can join them, you can donate them. And some other categories here. Yeah? So that's the campaign number 1. And what I'd like you to do now is to think of an activity for your organization, for example, in one particular week or month that can make people join. Yeah? And actually, it's quite easy to attract a lot of people in this. Yeah? So I think that's a good one, actually. That's a good one. Any questions on this? Okay. So we got weekly newsletter, and the organization is Feed My Starving Children. So we got starving children here, and the idea is they send subscribers an update, so it's simply a newsletter, and with a personal story of a child helped by the programs. Okay? So our organization is about helping starving children, and this week we helped, I don't know, Mohamed from Somalia, and you show the picture of Mohamed and why is he happy now. Why is it a good way to act? Okay. And first of all, you think about your supporters. So you show, it's something, I don't know if you have this kind of places in your zoo, you know, the zoo, the animal things. So for example, in my country, you can have an animal. So it means you got your picture and your name. And so, for example, this elephant is handled by Mr. This on that. Yeah. So it shows exactly a tangible person who is involved in this action. Yeah? Some people want to be advertised like this. Some would like to stay in a shadow. Yeah? So it depends on the person, but still it's good. It's good to have this kind of opportunity for your supporters. And of course, it reminds supporters that your organization is doing something. So if you send them a message once a week, then they know that you are working. Yeah? It's not like, okay, I paid some money to those organizations and now they disappear. I don't know what they are doing. Okay? So this is also a good one. This is also a good one. And yeah, we got Haiti here, for example. They had a problem. And the third one is about how to celebrate your anniversary. So we got the example of Special Olympics, and out of this group, what's the oldest NGO here? How do you think? How many years is, like, how old is your NGO? 4, 7. Who's got more? 10 years. Okay, so you see, 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, it's already a very good opportunity to celebrate. Okay? It's a very good opportunity to celebrate. If it's 4 years, Alisa, if it's 4 years, what does it mean for you? No. Okay, but if you would run the NGO, what does it mean to communicate that you got 4 years? No. It means, please. Yeah.
In 4 years, we have done 22 projects. I think that it's a good number for a newly built NGO. And we are working by specializing for the LGBTIQ community, and we have a target beneficiaries. And I think that the most important is that you know who are your beneficiary groups.
No, but I mean opportunity thinking. What does it mean that you operate for 4 years?
Sorry, but I didn't get.
You will have an anniversary,
Yes.
5 years next year, yeah? So you need to prepare and create a campaign that you work for 5 years, okay?
Yes.
That's an opportunity. So every 5, 10, 25, it's all very good, yeah? It's all very good. And of course, it's you know, if you got some foreign capital, international capital, I would assume they will look for organizations that work for some time already. But if you cannot advertise, for example, you are brand new, then you just have to hide it. Yeah? But if you work for many years, you should definitely show it. Okay? And we got the Special Olympic Games, and in 2018 they had 50 years anniversary, and they made this anniversary a major focus on the website. Okay? So why is it a good campaign to show your anniversary? How do you think? What's the benefits of it? Okay, you show you are there for quite some time, and you can show how much your organization has done. Yeah? So, for example, you may have a CEO, someone who's running this organization, and he can sum up those 50 years. So we started with this, and then we did, and we changed our focus, and all of this stuff. You can sum it up. So you can definitely show how much you've done during this time period, and it encourages your supporters. And like I said, if you got this anniversary incoming, you should prepare for it, and you should show. So 5 years, you got a goal in here. You need to go talk to your people and make sure 2021 you celebrate with your supporters.
I'm not sure that we are going to celebrate as an anniversary because in Armenia we don't celebrate like this.
Yeah. So you will be the first one. You got the tool to be different. Yeah, you can be different. You can be different. Unless it will be shocking for people in Armenia. If it's not shocking, you will be the first one. That's a good idea. Okay. You remember this? Or you're too young to remember this? Yeah. What year was it? My question is. When? 14. Make-A-Wish Foundation. Make-A-Wish Foundation, the arm wrestle challenge. You know the arm wrestle? Yeah, the people are, yeah, the arm wrestle challenge. And this NGO encouraged participants to film the arm wrestling fight and to tag it on social media. And now listen, the winner is donating the Make-A-Wish, and the loser is doubling the winner donation. Okay? So if the winner is paying 10 euros, the loser is paying 20. But both are paying, eh? So that's a perfect plan. And so maybe I should not even ask you why is it a good campaign, because it is a good campaign. But the way to do it is to engage a lot of people in a business concept. Yeah? And that's exactly what happened. Almost everyone was doing this ice bucket challenge, and it was an extreme success. Yeah? Maybe it's not that successful if I ask like 100 people what was it about. Yeah? We know it was about something, but probably no one knows what exactly was it about. But still, yeah? And the idea is, so the trend is to engage friends, people in a fun challenge. Yeah? Yeah. So you can think about something like that. Yeah? It's actually quite, maybe not easy, but it's doable, it's achievable for you to think about this concept. And then the name of your NGO will be almost everywhere. Okay? Believe me. In the world. And so my next task for you would be to think about this kind of idea. Hey sis, Bright Pink, breast health awareness organization, breast cancer. The idea is quite simple. They offer a quiz. So I mean, like, you answer the questions, and if you solve this quiz, you got the answer if you got a personal cancer risk. Okay? Why is it a good campaign?
Because it deals with everyone can relate to it, have a personal approach, or like a nexus, emotional nexus, and like psychosomatic nexus to it. So
and it also shows you are an expert, and on the other hand, if someone is looking for example, Googling personal risk cancer breast, yeah, they will find your organization. Yeah? So it's kind of good for what's the name, CEO. So I mean, like you know, the SEO, this kind of putting your content in on internet. So it's people try to do it. Yeah? So yeah, and they are one and only organizers who are focused on early detection, so it's good for them, obviously. and it helps visitors to remember this company as a valuable source, helpful resource. Okay, and it's also doable for you to think about something for your organization to do such a quiz or something similar to it. Actually, please excuse me, there's a Polish slide here, but I just wanted to share something which happened at my university last month, and because the idea is to personalize your organization, so it should be personalized. Probably you don't understand any of this, but anyway, I'm quite sure you know about this crowdfunding idea. You use it every day, and that's what they issued the crowdfunding platform, the university crowdfunding, and the idea is to install the equipment to have fresh water on the university. So they asked the employees to join, and of course they did. But that sounds like your everyday life, I bet, yeah? But what's interesting here, they decided to give something to the supporters, okay? Do you give something to your supporters? What do you give them? So you can give them a small gift, that's quite usual, yeah? But what they did here is they create a huge water, I'm not sure if I know the proper well, maybe you know, like the one piece of water, so the small one, yeah? Like here, this kind of, yeah? And they put people names on it, yeah? So all the supporters, of course, if you wanted to, they were there, yeah? So I think that's a very good way to engage people, and even because it costs nothing. If you give them small gifts, you have to have a budget for it. This one is for free, and it shows, and I think people liked a lot of it. So apart from this, you can what you can do for your supporters. You can create your own web page with their profiles, for example, if they want. Some people want to be advertised, yeah, as the supporters. You can add their pictures. You can add the stories. You can tell your own story. Yeah? So that's quite a good concept. What we done at our university, and yeah, that's the summary. Do I have like a few minutes left? Yeah. Yeah, 10 minutes. So that will make. So yeah. Why do we need marketing? Because we cannot afford not to marketing. Simple as that. We cannot afford. Some of you stated you don't have a website. You should have a website. Also in English. Okay, that's a must. I will next time if we ever meet again. If you tell me you don't have a website, then I will tell you to have a website one more time. Okay. Okay. English website. And it's not enough to plaster your mission or vision or values on your website. It's not enough. You have okay, so you can tell, if we meet next time, you say, okay, we got a website. So what? What do we need here? Active writing. We need to be active, not only have a website. We need to work with our communication, both internal and external. We need to communicate with our stakeholders, of course, and no information, so no website is an information. No information is an information. What's the information of no website? We don't care about you, our supporters. You can't even check what we are doing, yeah? Maybe it's not only about the website, but the whole communication tools, yeah? If your strategy is to use social media only, then it's fine, yeah? But still, it's about the active way to do it. Yeah? And we need to focus on this old-fashioned way of marketing. So like 15 years ago, it's only the communication of company. Now it's about long term. So how is it received by your audience? Yeah, that's also very important here. Excuse me. Everyone is involved. So something what I started with, from the boss to the everyone in the organization. Yeah? So, for example, the driver made my experience here. Yeah? That's very important. Yeah, that's very important. And so that's the end of my NGO marketing part. And I wonder if you have any questions, because I still got 10 minutes for this marketing and democracy connection, if you're interested in it. So no questions?
Yes, there's a question about marketing and democracy, why it's important for democracy.
Yeah, that's the next part. So it's forthcoming. I'm not sure if it's good if you don't have questions. Probably it was quite obvious, but it's always good to repeat those stuff. And marketing democracy, why is it connected? That's why the subject was a little bit misleading. And in fact, marketing and democracy, they can learn from and benefit from each other. Yeah? That's how it is. Because marketing can embrace fairness and concern for the common good. That's this side of the story. And democracy can be enhanced if politicians view voters as a customers, like in marketing. Okay, so if politicians would view voters as a consumers, that would be great. Yeah, so long-term relationship. Because nowadays, in at least in my country, it's like if we got a campaign, we got a lot of marketing in there, yeah? So advertising of parties, all of this stuff, and 4 years, you are no consumers at all before the next campaign. Yeah? That's what happens in many countries. Yeah? So if they would think about this long-term relationship, like not only they, you as people who decide on many stuff, that would be very important here. So how can marketing be used to advance democracy? So first of all, we got this concept of good marketing because lots of people, if they talk about marketing, they got this bad reputation of marketing. So coming from 1990, so it's only selling everyone to people and not thinking about the customer. This transaction is the king and all of this kind of thinking. But we got this concept of good marketing, and it's very well described in this book I showed you at the beginning. So the book is Greater Good, How Marketing Makes for Better Democracy. You got the whole book on it, okay? And so the authors of this book, they see marketing as a tool not only to improve the economic lifestyle, but also to engage people in the politics or in the democracy. What I mean by that. In some sense, what you are doing, so what I mean is if you got a good marketing strategy for your NGOs, it's attracting people from other countries, and I would believe that's also building a democracy, because you have an attractive offer. Some people will invest in your country. That means because of the marketing, you are building the democratic structure of the country. Yeah? So that I can see this type of connection here as well. Okay, and so to sum it up, first of all, marketers provide consumers information so they can make better choices. That's a very marketing thing, yeah? And that's also a very democratic thing. And also the buzzword in marketing nowadays is a value creation, value co-creation. And so it means active customer engagement. And that's exactly what we would like to have in a democracy. Yeah? So we would like people to vote and be active in and engage in the processes. Yeah? So that's a common point as well. And the other one is we like our consumers as a marketers to be enlightened, so they have a knowledge and they know about stuff. So that's useful in building democracy as well. and there are some like core features or benefits of marketing, 6 of them, and they are aligned closely to with the requirements of democracy. So the first one, exchange, that's the very marketing term. The other one is consumption, choice, so we got a choice, information, engagement, and inclusion. These are very marketing words, and you got them described here. And you got the the marketing term and how is it related to democracy term. Yeah? So information is enlightened understanding, choice is a control of agenda, engagement, effective participation, exchange, voting opportunity, inclusion, so inclusion of voters, it's quite similar here, and consumption, so it's improved prosperity. So somehow we got 6 main traits of marketing and democracy, and we got them connected. Yeah? But I once again, I'd like to refer you to this book because it's like 200 or 300 pages, which all of describe in details the whole concept. What I wanted to do here today is just to show you such a book exists, and you may find it helpful in your future. And so my final thought is. The marketing nowadays, you don't need a big budget for it. Yeah? You just need to know how to do it. And so if you got a smart communication, you know how to do it, then you can have a great impact, and this impact is without a lot of money. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's the thank you slide. Yeah, and of course I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you may have about any of what I discussed. And as I said, I'll be during the lunch in the afternoon and tomorrow also. So if you think any of this is interesting, then I'd be more than happy to talk to you. Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you.